Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a Silver Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 21st day of February 2021, wanted to talk to you about the silver shortage. And I think I have found some additional evidence that would point in that direction that we really are having a supply shortage or a running out of silver. And because of that, it's going to, I believe, skyrocket the price of silver to almost double what it is now, pushing it to $50 per ounce. Um, and just so y'all know, the ratio of silver to gold in the earth is 8 to 1. So there's 8 ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of gold. Okay. So using that ratio, don't you think silver would be a little bit more expensive than it is now? Probably. But that's okay. We're working with what we have, and we're going to do the best we can. So jumping over to the United States Mint, going to look at their product schedule, and we know that on February 22nd, that would have been tomorrow, the United States Air Force silver medal would have been dropping, and it is a beauty. But this 2.5 ounce metal is going to be, well, we don't know yet because it's been on a to be determined status and put all the way at the very bottom of the list. It's not even in a season. So there's that. So that's a lot of silver right there. And they could make or mint a lot of American silver eagles out of that, or commemoratives, because we know commemoratives are not a full ounce of silver. So now that I brought up the commemoratives, I wanted to show you something that a post that came up, and check this out. So this one's available. The uncirc is available. However, the proof Christa McAuliffe 2021 silver dollar is unavailable, and there was no product limit for this one. This is 21CH, and the mintage limit was 350 across all product options. Now you got to remember this was not a buy it now, okay? This was a pre-order. So there's a remind me on a pre-order that already dropped on January 28 for a product that's coming out March 17. And there it is. That's the reason I bring this particular coin up, is because of the release date. I believe that it is either mid-March or by the end of March, silver will have made its run northward, upwards of $50 per ounce. Okay. And I believe that's why the United States Mint stopped making these available. I believe they stopped making these available for the same reason. And for these particular ones, I believe it'll run out soon. However, the uncircs are usually don't even break the 10,000 coins minted mark. Usually the proof is the big dog. And let me show you here. This is from coinnews.net, and this is the U.S. Mint sales for 2021. And I'm just going to go ahead and quickly show you the Christa McAuliffe mintage. Now remember, this particular coin has no product limit. Alrighty. And so we're going to shoot right past here, and we're going to go into the numbers. So this is the 2021 Christa McAuliffe silver dollars. Old sales, 16,647. Latest sales total, 17,707. So they've sold 17,707. And maybe since the publishing of that article, they could have got to 20,000, maybe. And these are pre-orders, but they're not even taking pre-orders anymore. So why would they do that? I honestly don't know. And they didn't come out with a reason as to why this one went on a remind me for a pre-order. The United States Mint is not very communicative at all when it comes to things like this. Even if you ask them on their Facebook page, they kind of just ignore you sometimes, and sometimes they answer you. So it's kind of a rolling the dice, so to speak. But in addition to what is going on over the United States Mint, I wanted to take you over to Bullion, because on our last video, they were talking about large quantities of silver being unavailable. And because of that, I was like, okay, well, let me go check out some of the bullion dealers online. And I used the, I put American Silver Eagle Monster Box in the search query, and these came up. And not one single monster box is available on this website. Not one. And if you go to JM Bullion's eBay page, they have no silver listed there either. So I thought that was odd. However, you can go to places like AppMax and other large bullion dealers, and they are selling their monster boxes, however, for a few $1,000s more. Now, that got me thinking. I'm like, so JM Bullion, they got reasonable prices generally. They're usually the lower, inexpensive out of all of the online bullion dealers. Well, this out of stock reminded me of something, and it should also remind you of something as well. It is that on that weekend in the beginning of February, that they thought that the Reddit army was going to come clobber the silver manipulators, right? That I did that in quotations, you didn't see that, but if it was on video, you'd have seen it. If that's what happened, a lot of these bullion dealers took their stuff offline. Not only were the sales off the charts, but they wanted to wait until Monday morning, or Sunday night rather, my bad, at 6 p.m. Eastern for the precious metals market to open back up so that they can get a realistic price. And if you remember, the price shot up pretty good. It was up at least 17%, I believe, at the highest point on that day, on Sunday evening, Monday morning. So this is getting more interesting by the day. And look at this. I mean, this is obviously a biased article, but they have some really good information here, so I'm going to share it. This is from February 18 in the afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. On February 3, the iShares Silver ETF SLV amended its prospectus to warn of the risk of restricting the issuance of new shares due to a lack of physical silver. There it is. That's the bottom line. They cannot find physical silver, so they won't be issuing new shares. So what does that make the shares that are already on the market? They're going to make it more valuable. Supply and demand, right? Demand's going to go up. Says here, if this indeed happens, a premium on SLV relative to the COMEX silver futures contracts would form, risking an SLV squeeze as detailed explicitly in the prospectus amendment. And if there is a squeeze, that means these guys have to be holding all of that physical silver, because if they don't, it's going to tumble like a house of cards. And that's why on that weekend in the beginning of February, I don't believe it was retail buyers buying up all of the silver. I think it was the big boys here who run these ETFs. They didn't want to have, because they saw what happened to GameStop, and they want no part of that. They lost billions of dollars, and that had to feel miserable. In fact, there was a hearing in Congress last week on that whole GameStop bumblebee manipulation, was it? I don't know. But it says here, premiums on physical silver would go even higher, and three silver markets. Okay, there's three silver markets. There's the physical, the ETF, and the COMEX futures would chase one another in a spiral. That means an upward spiral, not a downward spiral. This would constitute an existential threat to the dollar as a monetary reserve, since retail investors cannot redeem SLV for silver, physical silver that is. They would be left with dollars that aren't worth much anymore. The conclusion here is buy physical silver, not SLV. So, like I said, this is a biased article. There's three versions of silver you can buy. Me personally, right there. That's what it's about for me. But, you can do whatever you like. It says here, looking for more investing, you can go here. It says here, like a game of silver whack-a-mole, the venerable army of silver bugs is armed and ready with their silver mallets, raining down fury on the iShares Silver ETF as soon as it pops up and does something weird. Well, they already are happening weird. The weird things are already happening. It says right here. And something weird it did. Back on February 3rd, just 2 days after the silver popped briefly above $30 an ounce, premium skyrocketed, and physical markets were cleared out of monetary supplies across the world. The weird thing was on February 3, SLV amended its prospectus and added a new risk factor on page 7. The risk that the fund may run out of available silver to source and be forced to restrict issuance of new baskets. There it is, guys. That's it. And these are the big boys saying that. Writing's on the wall. Can you read it? There it is. Thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a Silver Stacker. Out.